lot of AT&T, IBM, this organization has developed this. And from this, there are three Unix operating systems got derived. There are three operating systems, guys. One of them is very famous is IBM AIX. Now, this is a specific operating system which runs only on the hardware called as IBM. It doesn't run on the other hardware. It is a proprietary hardware. It is a paid software. It is not a free of cost, or it is not an open source. Another operating system which is available is called as HP Unix. So this HP Unix is also developed by the HP organization, and it runs on the HP hardware. And there is one more famous which is called as the Solaris, Sun Solaris. So this is actually developed by the Sun Microsystems, and now it is handled by the organization called as Oracle. Now from this one Unix, there is something called as Linux got derived. So Linux kernel was developed by the person called as Linus Torvald. And this Linux operating system, there are plenty of the Linux operating systems are there, as I told you earlier. One of them is very famous is Red Hat, CentOS, Ubuntu, Fedora. Okay, then we have Debian, Arc, Kali Linux. There are plenty here, guys. There are SUSE Linux. SUSE is also a powerful Linux operating system. Interesting thing is that if you learn any one of these operating system, maybe Red Hat, maybe CentOS, anything, Ubuntu. Interestingly, guys, you can work on all the operating systems. So when I started my career, I learned Red Hat, guys, but I worked on IBM X, HP Unix. I got selected in HP organization because I was aware about the Red Hat. I am delivering the trainings now to the IBM, HP, and all companies because I know the Red Hat. So Red Hat Linux or any Linux, guys, you learn CentOS, you learn Ubuntu, anything is okay, but learn one operating system and you can work on all other operating systems as well. And parallelly, we have a Windows, right? And Windows has also a lot of flavors, guys. Like we have in Windows NT, Windows XP, Windows 2000, 2012, data center. So many things are there. So in Windows, there is a server concept is there, client concept is there. Now, whatever the operating system which you see on my laptop, or maybe on your laptop, guys, this is a client operating system. But there is a operating system, Windows operating systems are there, which are server editions, like Windows Server 2012, Windows Server 2000 Data Center Edition. So there are a data center editions also, but Windows is mostly popular at the client side. So if 20% market is in the data center of Windows, Unix market is 80%. But at client side, if you see, this is completely a 90% also you can say. Almost every household you will find the laptop or computer which is having a Windows operating system or maybe Mac operating system. But nobody, mostly at the household, people will not, you will not find the operating system is a Linux. Only college students are those who are techies. They are using these operating systems in their home, right, on the laptop or something like that. But Windows is very popular at the client side. But at the server end, the Linux is very popular, Unix is very popular. If you want to do the installation of this operating system, you need a ISO image. You need a operating system image, guys. And you can find out that, let's say you want to download something called as Red Hat ISO image. You can just click on this one, download Red Hat Enterprise Linux. And you can see there, you can download it, guys, right? You don't have to activate the subscription. No need required. You can directly download it. You can see it. Latest Red Hat Enterprise Linux version, RHEL 9.3 x86. So I can copy. If I ask you to download, you can download. If you click on this one, it should start downloading. It will ask you the question, username and password. This is free account on the Red Hat. and probably it should start now downloading, guys, right? Can you see this downloading is started? This is going to, this is 9.8 GB, guys. I don't need this one because I have already downloaded this, but I'm just showing you how to download it. Another operating system which is simple operating system, which is CentOS 9 is also there, 7 is also 7. For learning purpose, you can use this, guys, CentOS 7. I'll give the minimum ISO image. So you should try with the minimum operating system, guys, like what is that? Which one is that, guys? 1.988, right?
Yeah.
This one. I'll copy the link and give it to you. Okay. So make sure that Drushya, Manushri, Maulika has already tried, or if you don't have these guys, please make sure that you Jenny, you can also download this one. I think you have downloaded it, right?
Yes, yes.
Hmm. So once you download this operating system, then look at the screen how to install it. Okay, let me show you this quickly, guys. Uh, Normally, when we install the Windows operating system, guys, you can keep that, copy that one, and just start downloading. Once downloading is started, you can look at the screen then. Drishya, what you are having?
Laptop, sir.
Okay, so you have this operating system installed.
No, sir. I will install.
Download that.
Okay.
Also download VirtualBox. I'll just give the link. Manushri, what you have? Is it
Sir,
laptop?
laptop. Laptop.
You have laptop, right? So download this VirtualBox first of all, and also download Putty software and install it.
सर इस क्लास में फाइल आईओ ऑपरेशन तक का ही कवर होगा
होगा, अरे रुको रुको हो जाएगा, डोंट वरी, बी देयर, डोंट वरी.
यस सर
मुझे खुद को मालूम नहीं होता कभी क्या मैं पढ़ाने वाला हूँ. Something comes in my mind and I start that. Because I have not shown these guys, na, this topic.
यस सर
So it is
नहीं
important.
एक्चुअली सर मुझे क्यूबरनेट्स वाला करना था ये वाला हो चुका था मेरा
No problem. You can keep watching this one for some time. I think we have a lecture at 12:30, right? Other people will join at 12:30 for
यस
the
सर
lecture. So
ओके
that
सर
time we'll take it. Meanwhile,
यस
we'll just complete this task. It is just 15 minutes. Let me know if it is downloaded, guys. You have to just download and install. Double click and next, next, next. If you need help, you can share the screen. I'll quickly show you that. Okay. Or is it downloaded? Manushri, is it done? Manushri, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Is it downloaded?
Yes, Putty is downloaded. Other are in downloading, sir.
Drishya?
Mine also, sir. Putty is downloaded, but CentOS is downloading.
Okay. So then you can watch the screen, guys. Let it download. Okay. So now how to install the software? Fine. It is just 10 minutes task, guys. I will show you come quickly. So any hard disk, any hard disk. Normally, when you install the Windows, we have C drive, we D drive, we create E drive like this one, right? So in Linux or Unix, what we have a partition called as a slash. It is also called as a root partition. Then we required another partition which is called as the slash boot. What is that? Slash boot. And there is one more partition required which is mandatory, that is called as the swap. What we'll do, guys, we'll just take a 15 GB space hard disk. Will not take much. We'll take only 15 GB. And in the 15 GB, what we'll do, we will keep this as a 10 GB. We'll take boot as a 1 GB and swap as a 1 GB. And remaining 3 GB, we will try for the different storage related exercise. Okay. So I'll show later on how to create a partitions, how to format that, how to save the files and everything in that one we'll see it. But these are the three important things, guys. So how to do that? Once you install the virtual box and you open it, you'll look like this one, guys. Now you can click on the add button here. Sorry, not add. You can click on the machine and click on the new. So this kind of one screen comes. I'll just write here Linux machine. This is the name of the machine which I'm giving. In the second option, you see here other. I don't have a space in my C drive, guys. I'm going to use E drive because there is 101 GB free space. There is a folder called as VM and I'm going to select that. And there is an ISO image which you are downloading right now. So keep it at the same location, safe location. Mine is at the D drive software CentOS 7. And you can click on the skip unattended installation. So on this screen, what we are doing, guys, we are just giving the name. We are selecting the folder in which you have to store the virtual machine. And this is the ISO image which you want to install, right? So click on the next. Second is that how much RAM you would like to assign. So I'm going to use 2 GB now here, or probably for the installation, I will use 3 GB. And I will also use, because I have 12 cores, guys, right? So I can use more. I have 16 GB RAM, so I can use 3 GB here. Click on the next. And I just need 15 GB, not more than that. Click on the next. This is the disk space. So यहाँ पे हम लोगों ने क्या दिया? We have given the memory, we have given the processor. Then we have here we are giving the disk. Click on the next and finish. So once you select all the configuration, that which operating system, how much space, how much CPU, how much RAM, then you can just right click on this and click on the start button, click on the normal start. So when you click on the normal start, the machine will get started, guys. And then we have to do the installation part. So this screen will come up. You have to use up arrow and down arrow to select the right option. So I'm selecting install CentOS 7. While installation, you can give more RAM, but once installation is done, you can give this less RAM so that installation can be done very quickly and fast. We can reduce the CPU and RAM after installation also. Okay, so now the language which you are going to select is English. Sometime mouse works, sometime mouse doesn't work, guys. I hope it works in my case. It is working very good. Then we are in the Asia region, so you have to select date and time. Click on this one. Click on the done. Only date and time, and another one is don't change anywhere here. Just go to the installation destination, and this is the important location because we are going to create a partitions. This is a hard disk. यहाँ पे you can see here there are two options: automatically configure partitioning and I will configure partitioning. If you keep this as it is, then it will create a partition by itself. But we would like to create our own partition. So I'm going to select I will configure partitioning. So see, we are selecting 15 GB disk. I will configure partitioning and click on the done button, which is here at the top. Now, once you are on the screen of manual partitioning, you select standard partition. And here you can add the part. Now see, this is 15 GB. Now I will add the first partition. What is the first partition? Slash. What is the size? 10 capital G. Second one plus something called a slash boot 1 capital G plus third partition is swap 1 capital G. Add more. Right. Click on the done button. Accept changes. Now let me begin installation. Now यहाँ पे set करना है root password. You can click on this one. I am just setting 1, 2, 3. Just set the 1, 2, 3 password only. And that's it. Now our installation is in process. Now the timing is 12:18 guys. कितना टाइम है अपना 12:18 हो गया. अभी देखो कितने टाइम के अंदर ये मशीन रेडी हो जाता है. It is just minimal 291 packages are there guys. So it will be very quick, very fast. And we should learn the operating system with minimal package only. Then only you will understand अरे ये पैकेज कैसे इंस्टॉल करना है, वो पैकेज कैसे रिमूव करना है, इसको कैसे कॉन्फ़िगर करना है. Then only you will understand. If you everything is coming in the operating system, then you will not search for how to install it. And that is the reason you need to do this task. Okay, so keep the minimal partition information, guys. Is it easy, my dear friends?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. दृश्यम दृश्य में बोल रहा दृश्य.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
हाँ. Manushri, did you understood this installation?
Yes, 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 sir.
Janil? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Understood.
So ये आप कम से कम 10 बार करो installation. You create 10 servers, delete it, again create it, delete it, again create it. One of my student has got selected in the AWS. Why he got selected in AWS, do you know? He did one exercise before going for the interview. He tried to install 4 operating system in one hard disk. We are using VirtualBox, but not like VirtualBox, dual booting, triple booting, and 4-time booting. So this is where you will not understand the Linux installation process, guys. if you want to learn Linux properly, take a blank hard disk from the market somewhere. Okay, and on that hard disk, you put that hard disk in the laptop or your desktop machine, and from the scratch, delete, remove Windows, and Windows should not be there on a laptop. And then, first of all, and then try to install the 4 operating systems. Maybe Windows, Linux, CentOS, Red Hat, Ubuntu. So that guy tried to install the 4 different operating systems in one machine. And we can only install 4 operating system, guys, in the single hard disk without any virtualization. So when he went there, because he faced a lot of challenges while doing the this 4 machines booting, and because of that he learned very many things, and because of that he cracked the interview in the AWS, and now he is a senior. I think he's senior person over there. So don't underestimate the installation part, guys. This is important actually, because when you do the installation or when the system is booting up, that time you need to understand what exactly is happening in the system. I'll tell you one example, guys. What happens? Let me just explain it. Think about that you have a computer. Huh? Everybody please listen carefully. Think about that this is your computer. In your home, there is a power socket. There is a switch here, something like this. There is a switch, right? Something like this switch is there. And you have a button here. And this button is connected to the this particular is connected to the one of the component on the computer that is called as, ये पीछे हम कनेक्ट करते हैं ना मशीन के, उसको क्या बोलते हैं? SMPS. It is single switch mode power supply. Now, the moment you switch on the power supply, the machine from your home, what is the voltage running, guys? 230 volt. What is the frequency? 50 hertz, right? From our home, the voltage or current which is running, right, is 230 volt, 50 hertz. Now, this is given to this SMPS. But actually, if you see the computer components, they don't need this frequency and they don't need this AC voltage. They need a DC voltage. Huh? Listen carefully. Are you listening to me?
Yes.
Okay. So that means we need a direct current. So how to convert AC to DC? Which circuit I should use? Yes. Tell me, guys, Drushya, which circuit we can use for converting AC to DC? Drushya, are you doing engineering or some other study?
Sir, engineering, yes.
Which year you are in?
No, sir, I am in second PUC.
Second?
PUC. 12th standard.
Okay. Okay, fine, no problem. It's okay. Janil,
Sir,
you tell me.
rectifier.
Rectify. Who has given this answer? Manushree.
Manushree. Yes.
It is correct. It is a rectifier. So we can use a full bridge wave rectifier. This is guys, if you're studying in the college, you will immediately understand this one. It has a 4 diodes, it has a capacitor, it has some resistor transformer with there. So which drops the voltage from 230 volt to, let's say, 9 volt or something like that, or maybe you require 1.5 volt somewhere, we require 3 volt somewhere, you require 6 volt somewhere. All this DC. Guys, okay. Now what is the frequency of DC, Manushree? What is the frequency of DC? Yes, Maulika. DC का frequency कितना होता है?
सर फ्रीक्वेंसी थोड़ी होती है, 0 होती है.
0, absolutely correct. It is a 0 hertz, right? So it is straight line, right? There is no frequency.
Yes,
So
sir.
please remember this one, guys. AC has a frequency, but DC doesn't have. So SMPS is something which converts that task for you guys. That it does the task of converting AC to DC. Now, on motherboard, this is your motherboard, guys. Out of SMPS, there are a lot of cables comes out of it, guys. अगर आपका कंप्यूटर ओपन करोगे ना तो आपको यहाँ पे दिखेगा कि SMPS है ना, वहां से बहुत सारे केबल्स बाहर आते हैं. सेम थिंग लैपटॉप का भी होता है, बट वो प्रॉपरली स्ट्रक्चर्ड होता है, इसलिए दिखता नहीं ज्यादा, इनबिल्ड होता है. तो ये जो केबल आता है ना, इसमें से एक केबल जाता है हार्ड डिस्क को. एक हार्ड डिस्क रहता है ना आपका, उसको जाता है. एक केबल, वन केबल विल गो टू द प्रोसेसर, वन केबल विल गो टू द, यहाँ पे जो पावर सॉकेट होता है वहां पे जाता है. One will go to the motherboard somewhere like this one. This is spread. These connectors are connected. So whenever you switch the button, okay, when you click on this power button, switch on this one, it gives you 230 volt, 50 hertz frequency. SMPS converts that because it has a rectifier inside it. Now, once this board gets the DC current, guys, all the components of this particular motherboard will get activated. But there is one component which gets activated first. Any idea which is that? मदरबोर्ड पे जो सब कंपोनेंट्स है उसमें से कौन सा कंपोनेंट है जो सब जो कंपोनेंट पहले एक्टिव होता है, चालू होता है? So there is something called as a processor, guys, right? So I am drawing a diagram of processor here. In the processor, there is something called as RST pin. If you remember, guys, if you remember your college days, so one of the pin of the SMPS is connected to this. You have Intel 7, you have Intel 5, you have Pentium, you have 8085, you have 8086. All these are the processors, and they have different pins are there. Once this processor gets a power supply, it is activated. But processor works on frequency. It requires a clock. And who generates the frequency? So there are two pins in the processor. That is called as X1 and X2. In that one, there is something called as crystal is connected here. What is it? Crystal. Now what this crystal does, this is a crystal is your, it's a material, guys, right? It is a crystal material. One of the example of the crystal is quartz. Example is quartz. So the moment you give the power supply to the RST pin, and internally this gives the power supply to the X1 and X2 pin also, and your crystal starts vibrating. So these vibrations are converted as a, these vibrations are captured by the circuit called as an oscillator. What is that? It's, I don't know, the spelling might be wrong, guys, but it is oscillator. Now, what this oscillator does, whatever the frequency generated by, or whatever the vibrations are generated by the X1, X2, it actually regulates that. And then we say that my microprocessor of my laptop is 2.3 gigahertz, because frequency is measured in the hertz, right? So somebody says 2.1 gigahertz, somebody says 2.2 gigahertz, somebody says 2.3 gigahertz. This gigahertz is the frequency, right? And for each frequency, so there is a clock cycle like this one. Clock gets generated like this, guys, right? So this is your one time period. This is your one clock. So this is your time. T is equal to 1 upon F. So 2.3 gigahertz is your frequency here, right? This is 2. So it is 1 upon 2.3 into 10 raised to minus 9. Gigahertz is 10 raised to minus 9, right, guys? Is it correct? Yes, it is correct. So if it is 10 raised to minus 9, that means the smallest part of the second is required to execute one instruction cycle. So अगर आप कोई कंप्यूटर को कुछ इंस्ट्रक्शन दे रहे हो तो इंस्ट्रक्शन को एग्जीक्यूट करने के लिए उसको 2.3 गीगाहर्ट्ज 1 upon 2.3 into 10 raised to minus 9 part of the time is required. Are you getting it, guys? Hello. अगर थाम ना प्रीशो एक मिनट. Got it, guys? What I'm trying to explain you? Somebody please respond.
Yes, sir.
Is it useful information?
Yes, sir. सर अभी हमारा माइक्रो प्रोसेसर है कोर्स में, यही सब स्टडी कर रहे हैं.
Yes, 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 right. Now इसके आगे जाके मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन करता हूँ. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, friends. Now, why I'm explaining you guys this one? So this particular microprocessor generates the microprocessor requires the frequency, and the frequency is generated by the crystal called as a chords. And with the help of that frequency, whatever the instructions we are giving, that instructions are executed by the microprocessor with this period. So हम लोग अगर कोई command fire कर रहे guys, right? If you are firing any command on the machine, let's say ls command or touch command to create a file, right? So friends, what actually happens, that gets converted into the assembly language, and assembly language is given to the microprocessor, and microprocessor execute that instructions. Okay, now next thing, now your microprocessor is up and running. What your microprocessor does, you know what is the next thing it does? It sends one interrupt. क्या करता है वो? इंटरप्ट भेजता है. अरे ये क्या ऐसा हो रहा है? 1 second. It sends one interrupt. स्पेलिंग गलत हो गया. Interrupt to one of the integrated circuit IC which is mounted on motherboard. वो क्या करता है? It sends one signal. I'm not able to type it. 1 minute. हाँ, तो वो क्या कर रहा है देखो, यहाँ पे मदरबोर्ड पे जो एक आईसी होता है उसको इंटरप्ट भेजता है. Okay, so the moment it sends the interrupt is nothing but what, if you are doing something guys, I will stop you doing it, right? That is something interrupt. So this interrupt will be sent to the one of the integrated circuit which contains the software, and that software is called as a firmware, guys, because that software which is running inside the integrated circuit is called as a firmware, right? It does some operation inside the hardware. Okay, the normally we use the softwares guys to talk to the hardware, but there are some softwares which are there inside the hardware which does some functioning of the hardware. That is called as a firmware. Okay, and the name of that firmware which I'm talking about is basic input output setup. इसको ही शॉर्टकट में हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? BIOS. Are you getting it what I'm saying? Now, what is the job of the BIOS? What is the job of the BIOS? Can anybody tell me? BIOS किसके लिए होता है? सबको मालूम है ना BIOS क्या है? There is one something called as integrated. There is some software is there. उसका दो functions होता है. First function is to scan all hardware, or you can say interfaces. your motherboard has connected with hard disk. Your motherboard has RAM. Your motherboard has processor or whatever the things are, other things are there. So it checks all the peripherals connected to the motherboard, whether they are active or not. Okay, the same. When we wake up, we realize that there is an existence. I have legs, I have hands, I have eyes, I have nose. Same senses also comes in hardware, and that senses are detected by the BIOS. By what BIOS does that, it checks मेरा RAM बराबर चल रहा है क्या नहीं, मेरा hard disk बराबर चल रहा है क्या नहीं. That is the first thing it does. And this particular mechanism is called as power on self test post. क्या बोलते हैं उसको? Power on self test. So post is nothing but scanning all the hardware which is connected to the motherboard. If there is any issue in any of the hardware, BIOS immediately will throw the error on the screen and say that I am not able to boot myself now. Please fix that issue. And second function BIOS does, and that is what is the second function, if you know, guys? It goes to the first sector of hard disk. It goes to the first sector of hard disk. Whatever the software is present inside the first sector of the hard disk, it loads that software into the RAM. And what is that software inside the first sector of the hard disk, guys? What is there inside the first sector of the hard disk? That is called as master boot record. In short, we call it as MBR. So it goes to the first sector of hard disk and it loads master boot record MBR into RAM. I will show you this, guys, later on. And what this master boot record contains. Okay, what this master boot record contains, guys. So if this is your MBR is nothing but master boot record. कितना size होता है इसका? The size of the first sector, that is 512 bytes. What is the size of one sector? 512 bytes, guys. So there are three major things in the master boot record. One of them is what it contains, guys. Can anybody tell me what master boot record contains? कोई बता पाएगा मुझे मास्टर बुट रिकॉर्ड में क्या होता है? मनुश्री, मौलिका, जेनिल, there is something called as bootloader. This is called as the bootloader, which is of 446 bytes. कितना होता है? 446 बाइट का होता है, सबसे बड़ा यही होता है. Then we have something called as partition table, which is of 64 bytes. And there are magic bits, which is of 2 bytes. This question will be asked in the interview, guys. Please remember. If you are going for the any interview of Infosys or Wipro, there are some questions comes right in the examination. So they ask you question: what is the size of the bootloader? What is the size of the magic bits? What is the size of the partition table? They will ask you this question. What is the size of one sector? So you should know. So what is a bootloader? Bootloader contains the information about. देखो ना आपकी machine, whenever your machine is booting up, guys, what it needs? It needs a operating system. It needs a kernel. उसको kernel चाहिए ना? Kernel is the heart of the operating system, guys. It needs the kernel. So where is kernel loaded? Where is the kernel? Kernel is in the slash boot partition. Now we are in the RAM. The first sector of information is loaded by the BIOS into the RAM. Now we are in the RAM. Now from the RAM, we have to find out where is the kernel. So it needs the information about the location of the kernel on the hard disk. So what bootloader does? It loads location of kernel, or in short, I will give it loads the kernel into RAM for the time being. There is one more step, guys, before loading this kernel, but I'm just explaining you in short. It loads kernel into RAM. And all device drivers. What is the partition table? Whenever you create a partition, guys, like you create a C drive, you create a D drive, from which sector to which sector this partition is? What type of the partition is? How many sectors are there? All that information is captured in the partition table, and then that information is loaded into the RAM. It is available in the partition table. So if you create a D drive, from which sector my D drive is starting? At which sector my D drive is ending? At which sector my slash boot is starting? At which sector my slash boot is ending? That information is available inside the partition table. And what is a magic bits? Magic bit indicates that if there is some problem in the bootloader, or if there is a problem in the partition table, it will say that there is some issue. So magic bits checks the status of the bootloader and partition table. So who loads the bootloader? Who loads the MBR into RAM? BIOS. What MBR contains? It contains bootloader, it contains partition table, it contains magic bit. Now, once you load the kernel into RAM, now what is a kernel? Kernel contains all header files and device driver. You need a device driver for your hard disk. You need a device driver for your processor. You need a device driver for everything, guys, which you want to load. And it is there in the hard disk. It gets loaded with the help of MBR. So once kernel is inside the RAM, which is size is hardly 5 MB, guys. Kernel size is 5 to 6 MB only. It's not big kernel. Okay. So उसके अंदर पूरा सब इंफॉर्मेशन होता है कि what is the function I need to start first, what is the function I need to start second. So there is a sequence of instructions are written, sequence of files are written, available inside this particular kernel at the kernel location and device drivers. So it starts, kernel gets opened in the RAM, guys. Once you load the kernel into the RAM, it opens inside the RAM and it starts executing the binary files or library files which are present inside that kernel. And that way, slowly, you'll find that your system is now booting. Your machine is starting. It is coming up now. And finally, you will get something called as a login prompt. You'll type the username there. Then you'll type the password. And then you'll get a prompt. So the process of from power supply till the login screen, power supply to supplying the power supply, right? Till login screen, this process is called as booting process. And this is what required from the engineers. Okay, if you are saying yourself as an IT engineer, computer engineer, electronics engineer, whatever it may be, guys, this is the first thing you should know, that how my computer boots, how my laptop boots, how my mobile phone boots, how my iPhone, whatever it may be, that guys, it is there. My how my router switch boots. Boots is nothing but starts. The person who understands this is called as the doctor of machines. Like the people, there is a doctor who work on the human beings, right? They give the injection, they give the medicine, because they know if something goes wrong, what is the medicine should be given. I cannot treat servers lesser than the human beings also, because you see that if you consider that ICICI Bank database server, HDFC Bank database server, or whatever the leading banks are there in India or abroad, across anywhere, you think about, if somebody, if something goes wrong in that machine, how many families are dependent on it? How many employees are there? There are a lot of people are dependent on how many business stakeholders are there, how many people's money are there inside that particular server. They're very important. So the person who understands the machine's behavior and rectifies that is called as the doctor of machines. And if you want to become a very good engineer, guys, if you want to become a very good developer, you need to know the process of, you need to know the booting process in detail. This is just, I have given you a very small hint of what is a booting process is. I will require 3 more hours to explain you this concept, guys. Okay, what exactly happens when kernel comes into the RAM? What are the different functions get executed? How you get a login screen? Who, when you pass the username and password at the login screen, who takes that username and password and goes to the database and cross verifies? There are plenty of things are there, guys. It requires at least 3 hours, guys, to explain this concept. So booting process is important. So learning a Linux commands are very easy thing, guys. I'm showing you how to create a files, how to delete the files. It's not engineering stuff. If I show it to my daughter also, who is in the 7th standard, she will also do the same thing. What is expected from engineering student is that understand the process properly behind that. What exactly is happening if I'm creating the file? When I say touch 1.txt, it creates the file. But what exactly is happening inside the computer is what is required from you guys. Okay, then only you can become those who are working in the Google, those who are working in the Microsoft, those who are working in the Cisco. If you are dreaming to have the good job in the big organization, what is required, guys, is to study system properly, understand the system. Rather than becoming an application developer, become a system developer. Okay, so this is something which is very, very important thing I'm telling you. And this is a small discussion. I wanted to just give it to you before starting the Linux, right? And now see here, our this installation is completed. I will just click on the reboot box here, reboot button, and done. In 2 seconds of time, 2 to 3 seconds of time, guys, your installation is up and running. मैंने कौन सा लेक्चर रखा था रे अभी? इसके बाद भी एक लेक्चर था, राइट?
सर क्यूबरनेट्स का था
जिसका मिस हुआ था ना पहले, वो न्यू ज्वाइन से लिया।
ओके ओके, ठीक है। नहीं, टाइम 12:50 हो गया, मेरे ध्यान में आया नहीं टाइम, सॉरी। नाउ लेट्स लॉग इन विद द रूट. Password is 123. IP address show. Okay, now Let me shut down this machine. I'll show you the final thing. And then, so guys, once you install the operating system, you have to right click on this one, click on the settings, go to the network. We have to add one more LAN card. Click on the adapter 2, enable network adapter, bridged adapter, advance, and change the promise case mode to allow all. So this is adapter 1 is already there, which is used in the machine to access the internet, and this adapter 2 is there, which we will, by which we can access the machine right from other LAN. Let me click on OK. Then right click here. Yeah, whatever I'm doing right now, guys, it will take a little bit time for you to understand. So you can expect this clarification, guys, when our networking session starts. ठीक है, डॉकर से डॉकर का बाद में लेक्चर लेते हैं हम लोग, अभी इसका खत्म कर देते हैं, चलेगा ना? 1 2 3 IP address show. Now see that we have got one more LAN card, guys. There are 3 LAN cards. One whose IP address is 127.0.0.1. Can you see? So I'll write here, guys, the meaning of each LAN card. You see first there, right? And there is something called as LO. LO stands for local. It is also called as loopback. And the IP address of this one is 127.0.0.1. You will find this is also called as a local host. हर एक मशीन को यह आईपी एड्रेस होता है, उसके अंदर एक लैन कार्ड होता है गाइस. हर एक मशीन के अंदर, इन एवरी मशीन देयर इज वन लैन कार्ड whose IP address is 127.0.0.1. I will explain you the more meaning of this one when we start the networking. There is a tremendous meaning for this one. Second one, which we have added now right here, you see. This is first one is ENP0S3. So this is the first adapter, guys, whose name is ENP0S3. This is coming in the CentOS, guys. If you are having a Red Hat, probably you will get a different name of the LAN card. And this is actually NATed one, used to access internet in virtual machine. And third LAN card, which just now I added, is, if you see its name, it is ENP0 asset. If you see, its name is ENP0 asset. And यहाँ पे ये IP address है. Now this IP address is given by the, मेरे घर में जो वाईफाई कनेक्शन है ना, इस वाईफाई कनेक्शन का जो यहाँ से कनेक्शन है ना, वहां से DSCP आया हुआ है. So this IP address is coming from that. So this is third one is bridged one. You study this, guys, very nicely. आपका कॉलेज बहुत अच्छा हो जाएगा if you study this properly. Okay. So I will explain you what is this bridge and everything in the networking section. You will be leader in the college, guys, if you do this properly. Do not take it lightly. ये बहुत अच्छा topic है. We people are spending a couple of years to understand these concepts. All right. Now I am going to use this bridged IP address to access it from the putty. Putty is the just interface, guys. It is one of the tool to access your Linux machine. What is the purpose of it? Let's say one of the Linux machine is created in or available in US location in USA. I'm sitting in India. I have a laptop which is a Windows machine. Now your servers might be everywhere in the world. It might be in the India also, it might be in the China also, it might be in the some other part of the world as well. And now you want to access these servers from this laptop. यहाँ पे एक machine है, you want to access it. You want to
मम्मा
access
साइड से आ जाओ.
this Linux
Sorry,
machine.
sir.
You want to access this Linux machine. You want to access this Linux machine or Unix machine from Windows machine. So you can use a software called as a PuTTY. PuTTY is the software. It is an interface which is used to connect or access a remote Linux machine from your Windows laptop. All these are the, let's say, Linux machine, guys. From Linux to Linux. If you have a Windows machine, okay, this is your Windows machine. This is also Windows machine. Then how will access the Windows machine from Windows machine? That time PuTTY will not work. PuTTY is for the command line interface. But if you want to access the Windows like a GUI, then you need to use, what is that?
RDP.
RDP. That is remote
Desktop.
desktop, right? Protocol.
Yes.
ये यहाँ पे Windows में, if you click here ना, and if you go here RDP, this is remote desktop connection, and you need to give the IP address here. ये दिख रहा है आपको IP address? You have to pass the username. Now it will not be available. If I just click on the connect, if there is a Windows machine, this machine will come up, guys. Right now I don't have this machine, so I'm just showing you how to connect, right? So Windows to Windows connectivity is done by using the RDP, and Windows to Linux connectivity is done by using PuTTY. We use the protocol, or we use the port called as SSH to access it, which runs on the port number 22. And remote desktop works on 3389, na? Janil, is it correct? What is the port number of the RDP? It is 3389 only.
Yes.
दृश्य समझ में आ गया है क्या कर रहा हूं मैं?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
मनुश्री?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, chalo. So Moulika, now what we'll do, we'll open this PuTTY software here. And what is which IP address I should put in this one? ENP0 asset card, LAN card number 3, 192.168. दिख रहा है आपको ना? 1.12. I will just use appearance here, change. I'll just make it font little bit larger so that you guys can see it properly. You have to accept it and then use the root user ID and password is 123. This is now, you have accessed this machine by using the from Windows machine. You have accessed the Linux machine using PuTTY. Okay. If I want to reboot the machine, I can use init space 6 command. Now you will be able to see that this is rebooting. मेरा कहने का मतलब क्या है गाइस, आपको ये रिबूट समझ में आना चाहिए. रिस्टार्ट, ये अभी यहाँ से जो चालू हो रहा है ना, देखो ये कर्नल है. This CentOS Linux 3.10.0-693 is the kernel. And if I press enter here, okay, now a lot of processes will start. You can see ये जो चल रहा है ना, it is starting remount, started, reached, started, listening, starting login service, starting command scheduler, starting command schedule, ये सब आना चाहिए आपको. इसके बाद तो किसी को भी आएगा. Once you log in here, everybody can log in inside this, right? It's not a big deal. Everybody can access it, right? Root 123. Now I have prompt. I can do anything from this place. But important thing is from the starting the button till this login screen, what is happening in the system, that you need to understand. Now, once you have this one, now I can see again the IP address, the same IP address. I'll just go to this place, guys, and I'll just restart this one. Root 123, and now here I am on the Linux box. Now, what we do, we can do a lot of things, guys, here. What is this? This is the name of the user. @ machine name. Okay. What this tilde sign indicates, guys? This is the tilde. It's also called as a tilde or tilde. It indicates home directory. And how to check it? You can see PWD. We are logged in with the user called as a root, and see the home directory of the user root is /root. Now I can see the time, date. I just want to print something called as, today is 9th, right? I want to print month, %m, right now. And then I want to print something called as a year. I want capital. I want, instead of 0 per, I want the name of the month. If I want to print something called as %h, now 1 बज गया, right? कितने minutes हो गए देखो? अभी भूख लगी है, right? Because today is a Puran Poli in our home. %, yes. Now see, 9th April 2024. I can see these guys, right? I can find out the day in the way I want it, right? I don't want to use this. I want to use this guy /. It will work. What I'm trying to show you here, I'm trying to show you that how we can find out the dates and how we can modify the date as per our wish. Otherwise, ये normal ऐसा आता है. मुझे नहीं चाहिए ऐसा. I want it my way. क्यों चाहिए ऐसा? Because you know, guys, I have shown you how to create a folders. Yes or no? You know this how to do it. अभी मुझे एक फाइल बनाना है जिसका नाम टाइम स्टैम्प के साथ आना चाहिए, like this one, touch 1 dot or dash, dash dot txt. एक मिनट, मेरे ख्याल से मैंने कुछ बैकटिक यूज करना चाहिए. नो सच फाइल और डायरेक्टरी. देखो अभी फाइल दिख रहा है आपको? नाम देखो फाइल का कैसा है. अरे ऐसे क्यों हो गया? सॉरी, 1 मिनट. One minute, I'll show you this now. Okay, now look at this. Touch 1 dash. Okay, date. Now इसमें क्या हो रहा है? This is not required. And मेरे ख्याल से स्लैश नहीं ले रहा है इसके बीच में. I have to use dash. .txt. What is the file name now? See, first dash. ये first है ना? Dash this one. And this is 9 April 2024. इसका आउटपुट है पूरा इसका. This one is this much. अभी सिर्फ वही कमांड है ना? एक बार फिर से. How many times I am hitting this command? How many files it might have created now? This is created 47 seconds, 76 seconds, 78 seconds, 75 seconds, 77 seconds. Every second it has got created. So if you want to create a file for every second and for which second this file is created, you can use this command, guys. How I remembered all these things? ये सब मैं कैसे ध्यान में रहूंगा? No need to remember. There is something called as a date --help. If you use the help command, you see that all the options are given. %h for hour, D for same as this one, L, K, J, M for minute, M for small m. Like this one, all the options are given. If you want to study more, you can use the command man space date and you'll find all the options here, guys. For anything, if you want to search information, man ls, you can get the information list, directory contents. I hope you are getting some good information, guys, today. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Man pwd. So like this one, guys, you can search the information for any command. So please remember this, guys. Let me just copy this set of commands. इधर है लिनक्स आपका. Okay, fine. Now, any questions till now, guys? All good? Any doubt? Any question? Is my is the voice is loud and clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Is pronunciation clear?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
fine.
sir.
Hope the speed is fine. Hope it is not too fast. Hope it is not too slow. Is it good? Or you want me
Yes,
to
sir.
slow down? Okay, fine. Thank you. Now, so I think Manushri, Jenil, and Drishna, Maulik has already know this installation process. You got it, na? How to install it now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Understand. Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, so do it on the local machine rather than using a cloud. If you have a cloud or something like that, creating a virtual machine on the cloud is very easy. But actually creating your own machine is quite important. Okay. All right, let's now move ahead with this something called as a file IO operation. Now going forward, please do not miss any session, guys. Okay, please do not miss it because every session will give some or other information. And normally I don't record my all sessions. I don't want to do that. I want all students to attend it properly. So basic lectures I may record, but advanced lectures I will not record, guys. Please remember that. So because I don't want to get that one somewhere else without this, because I have taken a lot of efforts to create my lecture. So probably advanced lectures will not get recorded right now. I'm telling you. So you need to be very attentive. You can attend my sessions 100 times without any extra cost until the time you are not understanding it. Okay, but make sure that you do. Recordings will not be provided for the advanced sessions. Basic sessions I will provide. Let's move ahead. File IO operations. So what is the file IO operation? As I told you earlier, whenever you log in inside the computer, what do we do, guys? What do we do? We create a file. Probably we sometime we rename the file. We rename the folder also. We do the copy paste. We do the cut paste. We open the file. We close the file. We delete the file. We execute the file. We compress the file. We archive the file. We compress the file. We uncompress the file. Anything else that we do with the file other than this? और कुछ करते हो आप फाइल के साथ? यही तो करते हो ना, और कुछ नहीं करते ना? It might be Java program file. It might be database file. It might be your resume file. Whatever it may be. But we do only these operations. Do you do any other operations other than this? फिर वो मैक ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम रहने दो, मोबाइल फोन रहने दो, एंड्रॉइड, लिनक्स रहने दो, विंडोज रहने दो, कुछ भी रहने दो, यही तो काम करते हैं हम लोग. If you want to listen the songs, it is a file. You're just executing it. If you want to watch the video, just double click on that. You are executing it. It's file. If you want to access the internet, it is a file. HTML files you are accessing. Everything is file, guys. So how to create the files? So there are lot of options are there. There is one of the command is touch. Second command is dd. Third command is vi, that is editors. Vi editor is there. Vim editor is there. Emacs is there. Nano is there. gedit is there. Sublime is there. You can also use this sign. You can also use this sign to create the files, as well as you can use the cat command to create the files. So please remember, these are the 5 to 6 options are there by which we can create the files. Okay. Now let me explain you these files, guys. We will take a session for 10 minutes more, guys. At 1:30 we'll stop it. I know that you might be hungry, but just 10 minutes, guys. So first command, touch. How to create a files by using a touch command? So you can simply use touch 1.txt, right? So touch command creates the 0-byte file. Let's create an empty file. Touch command can be used to create a multiple files in one go, like this one. I can use the touch command to create 100 files also. I can use the touch command to create a 1 lakh files also. Look at this. It has created 1 lakh file. How quickly it created, right, guys? Very simple. I can use this command touch a dot a to z, or I will use 1 to 5 dot txt. So what it is going to do, it is going to create a file called as a1.txt, a2.txt, b1.txt. Like this one, it is going to create a lot of files, guys. Like this one, s3.txt, s4.txt, s5.txt. So touch command is powerful, but it creates a 0 byte files. Please remember that, guys. I can use multiple parentheses, brackets to, ऐसे में कुछ भी कर सकता हूँ इसमें A to C, ऐसा भी हो सकता है. So it will create a lot of files, guys. All right. So first thing is that how to create a files by using the touch command. So it is easy, very easy way to create the files. Now second command is dd command. Now you tell me, guys, if you want to create a file of 1 GB size, how will create it? Okay, so if you want to create a file of any size, we can use the dd command. So dd command stands for disk dump. What is dd? dd is nothing but disk dump. ये बहुत अच्छा command है, guys. Please listen it carefully. उसके लिए मैं एक सिंपल एग्जांपल देता हूं ताकि आपको समझ में आ जाएगा. कंसीडर यू हैव अ सैक. आपके पास एक सैक है, बैग है, राइट? 100 kg का बैग है आपके पास. एंड यू हैव बास्केट ऑफ 1 kg. एंड यू हैव लॉट ऑफ ओनियंस हियर, गाइस. ओनियंस है अपने पास, राइट? ऐसे बहुत सारे ओनियंस है. ओके, सो what is the number of count will be required to fill this bag? बोलो ना, सिंपल तो क्वेश्चन पूछा है मैंने. What is the count which will required so that this particular bag will get filled with the onions? What is the count? अरे बोलो ना.
100.
100, right? Now similarly, if I want to create a file of 1 GB, and if my basket size is 1 MB, what will be the count required? मेरी बास्केट की साइज है 1 MB, 1 मेगाबाइट का. मुझे बनाना है 1 GB. कितने बास्केट्स लगेंगे ताकि वो 1 GB की फाइल बन जाए? काउंट क्या लगेगा? अरे
1000 ना.
1000 ना, सिंपल.
हम्म.
Shall I explain you this? What is bytes and bits now? No, na? I hope you understand that. You
Yes,
can
sir.
use okay. You can use this command dd. I'm going to write all the zeros. I don't have onions, but I have all zeros in the file called as 1.txt. मेरे पास block size है 1 megabytes का, and count I'm going to use 1000. देखो मैं वही same command use कर रहा हूँ अभी. Current size of the file is 0 bytes. देखो, it is 0 byte, right? See the magic now. If I use count is equal to 1, what will be the size? 1 MB. If I use 10, 10 MB, right? If I use 100, 5,000. ठीक है, 1 GB. So disk dump dd command is used to create the file of any size. I can change the block size. The basket size is nothing but a block size, guys. It's not a basket size, it is a block size. I can make block size of 512 bytes. I can make a block size of 2 MB also. Okay. We can change the count also. So anything you can do. Okay, but it is going to create a file with all the zeros, guys, inside it. You need to fill something, right? Otherwise, how the file size will get increased? We are putting all the zeros inside it. I hope you understood these two commands, guys, touch and dd.
सर टच समझ गया डीडीचा एक्सप्लेन करो ना ये चाले क्या if equal to slash
If
dev
stands for input file.
okay
Okay. dd stands for disk dump. If stands
slash
for
data slash 0
input file.
okay.
OF stands for output file.
Okay.
BS stands for block size. Okay. मतलब आपका पास एक 1 MB का ब्लॉक है, उससे हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, ये फाइल को फिल कर रहे हैं, किससे, 0 से, कितनी बार, 1000 बार, तो 1 GB का फाइल बन जाएगा ये. Is this clear? दृश्य, जेनील, मनुश्री, मौलिका?
Yes, sir.
जो डेटा इंजीनियरिंग करने वाले बच्चे हैं ना, डेटा इंजीनियरिंग का, उसमें डेटा इंजीनियरिंग में क्या होता है कि फाइल का साइज पेटाबाइट्स तक जाता है. अभी आपको अगर टेस्टिंग करना है तो पेटाबाइट साइज का फाइल कैसे करेंगे तैयार? तो ये कमांड आपको उस वक्त काम में आएगा. तो dd command you will use lot many times in your life, guys, lot many times. आपको समझ में आया होगा तो that is good, fantastic, guys. If you are not understood, let me know. Okay, good. I think this is fine, guys. Then I hope you understood, guys, this, right? So shall we move ahead now? I want to show you one more type.
yes sir
Okay. Now there is one more type I was explaining you guys. That is something called as a how to create the files by using cat command. Okay, let me just show you using the cat command, guys. Cat command से पहले इससे बता दो आपको. If I use this command, okay, samosa.txt. So this has created a file called as a samosa.txt. Okay, it is 0 byte file. But we have one file, guys, called as 1.txt, right? What is the size of this file? 1 GB. Now this command is little bit very dangerous command also. If I use this command on the existing file, see what is happening. A dangerous command, right? Earlier, the size of the file was 1 GB. I just use this command, right? Single insertion sign greater than sign 1.txt. So it actually deletes everything from that file. It makes that file 0 byte. But if you don't have that file, it creates a new file. But if you have existing file, it will overwrite everything. It will actually delete everything from that particular file. Okay. You can also use this command, vadapav.txt. But this is little bit safer, guys. This one is safer because if I type vadapav.txt again, it will not overwrite, it will append. So this single insertion sign is overwrite. And this sign is only append. So it will not delete the contents of existing file. It will add the new contents at the end of the file. That is called as a double insertion sign. Let me show you. Okay, one more command. So please remember that I can use the cat command also to create a file. Cat single insertion. Let's say I will create panipuri.txt. Now, when I use this command, it opens the file and it says that please write something inside it. I like panipuri. I can use the control C. Now, what has happened, guys? It has actually created the file called as panipuri.txt. And you see the contents of this file. I like panipuri. So cat command can be used with these signs to create a new files. Cat command can be used with these signs to override the existing contents of the file. We can also use the cat command to append the contents of the existing file. I like vada pav. I like samosa. I like puran podi. Control C. Now see cat panipuri.txt. So what I'm trying to explain you guys here, this cat command can be used to create a new files. If you use the single insertion sign, it is going to override the contents. If you are going to use the append sign, it is going to add the contents inside the file. Abhi panipuri.txt, how many lines are there? This one. If I just use here now, cat and single insertion. I like biryani. Okay, look at this. What will be the output of this file?
I like the
This is a dangerous thing, guys, right? So please make sure that whenever you use this command, always be careful. Okay, so the cat command is used to create the files, guys.
Sir, cat command without insertions creates a file, right?
Cat command without this is a this way, right?
Yes, sir.
It is just to print the contents of file.
Okay.
But if I use the cat command with this sign, insertion sign, it creates
Yes.
the file or it appends the new file, existing file. No,
Okay.
sorry, it overwrites it.
Okay.
Now it is appending. Okay. All right. So this is the list of the commands, guys, that I would like to explain, give it to you. I'm going to paste this in the WhatsApp chat box. Okay, guys, I have shared the commands with you. Now, you can go for the lunch, guys. You take a lunch, take a little bit rest, and I think we will have a session again at what is the time I've given you?
four,
मुझे देखने दो कितने बजे?
4 to 5 and 5 to 6.
हाँ 4 to 5 and 5 to 6 ठीक है 4 o'clock ना
Yes, sir.
ठीक है 4 to 5 and 5 to 6 fine thank you guys I hope you understood this topics today's topic that how to install the operating system what is the booting process and what are the file IO operations so file IO operations may I just shown you some one more way is remaining that is called as editors that I will explain you in the next session guys and today evening I think we will have a session on the security right file security rwx st is pending so I will take st today what is sticky bit what is set uid what is set gid access control list I think we have seen it okay so that kind of things we'll see and after that we will go ahead with huh?
Can you take the that starting session in Docker if time permits
when
in 5 to 6 session or after that?
देखते let me see how many people are coming and then we'll do it huh?
Okay, no problem.
Chalo guys so enjoy thank you very much take care bye
Thank you.
bye see you at 4 o'clock